Yes, this is recording. All right, welcome back to Don't Tell Mummy, the second podcast recording
Episode 2, so I'm stuffing my face.
with Lotus. Lotus, what is that?
Lotus, is that
Lo-
what you're trying to say? That common word
Yes.
that everyone knows.
What are they called? They got another word for them.
Biscoff.
Biscoff.
Yeah.
Shows you the amount of class this country has when Biscoff is a national favorite.
What do you guys do? Sivlaki?
Yes, tzatziki, tahini. Do you know what
Why are they all N and E?
because how the language works.
Yeah.
We do like
Yay.
tahini, but Greeks don't have tahini like us. Like we do it as a savory dip,
Yeah.
like the Jews and the Lebanese. So you
The
see, they have a lot
Lebanese.
of common. They have a lot in common.
Yeah.
They should just stop killing each other and love
Nah.
tahini.
I think tahini of all types is actually kind of shit. I'm not going to lie. Maybe I'll just, I've had tahini from M&S. I've had some of the best. And I have to tell you, awful.
Oh,
stuff.
stop! You
Not
haven't had the
awful-
real.
not awful,
you haven't had the real
but
deal though.
I
If you
just
have
go,
the,
How? It's not that good, is it?
it's amazing.
It's no peanut butter. It's no tzatziki.
yeah.
You know?
No, I think I prefer tahini
It's
to
no
tzatziki.
satay sauce.
What's satay sauce?
What satay sauce, mate? You never got yourself a succulent Chinese. You get yourself some fucking
Oh, okay.
satay sauce.
Okay,
Yeah, satay sauce. But yeah, just overall.
I really like that Vietnamese peanut sauce they give you with summer rolls.
Oh, so I'm not well versed in the Vietnamese. No.
It's just fun. You ever had pho?
As were the Americans in 1970.
Have you ever had pho?
I've had pho.
Yeah, so that's
fun.
Vietnamese.
Doesn't mean I'm well versed in the Vietnamese though.
Sure. This is recording, isn't it? Yes. All right.
All right. So I've written down some topics here.
Yes.
And I think we'll get into my favourite one first.
Okay.
And then next we'll get into your favourite one.
Okay.
So there's this woman who is so large she can't fit into most cars in Europe. But obviously this is in America. She orders a lift.
Yeah.
She tries to get in the lift. He says, "Hey, believe me, you ain't fitting in this lift." She goes, "I can fit in that car." Now,
Yeah.
I know you've only seen a glance at this woman, but I want you to get the full grandeur of her.
That's like
So you can understand.
Darnell.
It's not fat phobic. Look,
My God.
look. Now, I'm not.
And may I also add, of course, it's the Guardian reporting on this thing.
No, it's not the Guardian. It's NBC.
Ah, sorry,
NBC.
my
So-
bad.
It's all right.
Look at me trying to be a hater. I can't even get it.
Now let's read. So this is the Mail online.
When you said lift, I thought you meant
What forklift?
like an elevator.
No,
Like
no.
she tried to go in the elevator and it conked out, and she sued like the company.
No, she died if she went into an elevator and it conked out. If you're adding £600 to an elevator shaft as it plummets, you're not around to go. It'll be her family complaining
Is
on her
she
behalf.
£600?
She is £600.
What's that in kilograms for us non R-worded?
£600 in kilograms. It is
272 kilos. Jesus
272
Christ.
kilos. All right. Now let's look at the average weight bearing of a sedan. All right. What's the average obesity rate of sedan?
Not Sudan, the country.
The car sedan. It was a car. Okay.
Oh no, come on.
Oh yeah. but
Between 2,600 and 3,500 pounds, which is 1,000. What is that? 1,200 to 1,600 kilograms. Come on, that's
the average large car. No.
That's
No, they're saying that's the weight of the car, not the car's
okay.
limit.
Okay.
This woman is a quarter the weight of the largest sedan they sell.
Yeah, but it can.
Now,
To be fair to her, it can carry her.
yeah,
200 kilos. Come on.
I don't know.
If 3 people get in a car, it
but
can carry them.
That weight is evenly distributed. You don't have just like 600
She'll just sit
pounds
in the middle
over
at the back.
Your back right tire.
She'll just-
She couldn't sit in the middle. She can't climb over that little thing in the middle of the back of a car. Are you kidding? Are you kidding this woman? Look at the size of this car. Look at the size of this car. All right. Oh, that's the wrong clip. Look at this big bitch. And you're telling me she can fit in the back of this fucking car.
I don't think you can say that, Darnell.
Bro, they've blanked out the car because they know that's a normal 4-door
Oh,
sedan.
okay.
All right? The cheapest one they sell. Now, if she's sitting on the back right tire and they go over a pothole, that car's a write-off.
Yeah.
Is she going to repair that? He said he refunded her, all right? He said, I'm not going to charge you. I'm sorry for the inconvenience,
Yeah.
all right? But make sure the next time you order one, get an XL, you know? And she didn't take that very well. And the point she really switched is when he...
Oh, so is that the whole? Is that the point? Is that the point of the lawsuit? Like he said, get an XL.
No, let's listen to the details. Detroit rapper Dank DeMoss is suing the ride share
She's a
company.
rapper?
She's a rapper, yeah. You wanna see
Nice.
some of her raps
Yes.
afterwards? It's a miracle she can string 2 sentences together without getting out of breath. But we'll listen to some of her raps afterwards. Why not?
And Darnell's allowed to say that because he's black. So
No,
you know,
I'm not
He's-
obese. So.
he's allowed to criticize rappers.
All right, should we look at one of her videos? Dank DeMoss.
Macaroni
This
in
one's-
the pot.
Bro, she can't even fit on the screen.
Yeah, yeah. People probably can't hear it.
Yeah, I know that's probably good for copyright. But yeah, I mean, bro, she's out of breath. You can hear her wheezing through the bars.
Lil Weezy.
It's like listening to big what's his name? Do you remember that guy? Oh fuck. He was with Lil Pun.
I don't know any Lils.
Lil Pun.
I listen to heavy
Right.
metal.
Lil Pun. No, you're not.
Not Lil Pump. Of course there's a... Oh, yeah, that's Gucci Gang, right? Gucci Gang, Gucci Gang, Gucci Gang.
Oh no, it wasn't.
Oh, who's that?
Why am I saying Lil Pun?
Big Pun.
Big Pun. That's
Yes.
it. Yeah, we want Big
My
Pun.
man. Big Pun looks Puerto Rican.
I think he is. I think he is Puerto Rican. But look, this woman, would you admit she's at least the size of Big Pun?
No,
Yeah, right.
he's bigger.
She's at least the size of Big
He's
Pun.
bigger.
Dude, don't be fooled by these angles. Look at this bitch. She's as big as Big Pun. How old do you think she is?
Well, she's probably quite young, I think.
How young you reckon?
She's probably like my age. She's probably 31.
No, she's 29.
Whoa, I was close.
You were kind of close, but I just think, how do you get to that size at 29? I mean, for me,
How'd you get to that size anyway?
well, you know, people can live a life and they can not go the direction they were over a few decades.
Yeah.
You know, you know, this is someone who
I mean, I'm not one to talk. I'm not super fit.
you are not in the same ballpark.
No, of course, but I'm not, I'm not one to be
You
like,
can fit in a Mini Cooper, yet alone a
Yeah.
full-size sedan.
I can't fit in a Mazda, what's it called? MX-5 or something?
Yeah, but that's good of your height.
Yeah, that's true.
That's good of your weight, you know. But I just think, you know, if someone's getting is it weight discrimination when airlines are like, hey, you're going to have to buy 2 seats?
Have they started doing that officially, though?
They have. If someone's big enough, they're like, you'll have to buy 2 seats or you cannot fly on this plane.
I think that's not so much the weight. I think it's just the size of the chair.
It's the size of the chair.
They'll have to put
Yeah.
up the thing in the middle to sit. But do Ryanair's little things lift or are they fixed? Ryanair's dog shit.
They're fixed,
I
they're fixed.
flew to Cyprus on Ryanair over the holidays because it was the cheapest thing I could find.
Yeah.
And it's just fucking
Okay, think about it like this.
a
Yeah?
nightmare.
Would you let
It sounded
someone who
so
was,
middle class, didn't it? No, nightmare.
It was an absolute nightmare. I bet everybody
Ryanair is a
said,
nightmare. And I was forced to use it. Oh my god!
Hour-long flight, can you believe it? No,
I usually fly with BA first class.
I know you're
BA's
affluent.
turning shit as
I know you
well.
are. But I
To
just
be
think,
honest.
would you let someone who was £600 sit on you? Do you know what I mean?
No.
You wouldn't. You wouldn't because you'd think, oh, I don't know if my knees can take that. I don't know if my joints can take this car is going to be moving at 30 miles per hour with a £600 load in one position. Well, not, I shouldn't say one position because she's taken up quite, she might actually evenly spread out once she gets into the car, like some kind of fluid. But I just think it's how do you not have shame being like,
You didn't even get to the.
No.
Oh god, you didn't even get to the. How big do you have to get for your knees to have like fat stored around them?
where are your knees?
I And this comes from a place of love, by the way, because we want people to be healthy and to be able to embrace their life.
Nah, speak for yourself. I want.
Trying to save us here because we've just spent.
There's
we've just spent
30% obesity
10
in this country.
minutes shitting on this woman who
30%
happens to be fat.
I don't care. If there's 30% of this country is obese, right?
I'm glad.
Let's make it 40%. Let's make it 50%. The more people are out of shape, the better it looks to be in shape.
Yeah, okay, that's a bit.
So if you want the gyms full? No, you don't.
I want everyone to be healthy so that the place can work better. Do you know what I mean?
Nah, man.
So if people are happier, then all our lives get better because there's not. England is a depressive country, so if everyone's
people ain't
a
getting
bit of
this
a
big in
porker.
England. Guys, this story's not from England, by the way. This could only happen.
This
in
isn't from England, but I like how everyone shits on Americans for being fat. Have you walked around any high street in England? Everyone's a fucking porker.
Yeah, but bro, like, you ain't seeing this in the UK.
I'm sure there is somewhere.
There's fat
Go
people
to fucking,
here.
I don't know.
There's fat people here. But do you know what's crazy? To be fair, everyone does call Americans fat. And everyone thinks they have the most fat people in the world in their country, but they don't. Their population is 350 million, right?
Yeah.
50, I think 15% of the population is obese. They have like
15.
15,
Okay.
right? Oh, no, I think it's like 30. I think you're right. It's like 30, but that's however many million people it is. India has a population of 1.6 billion people.
Yeah.
And 20% of them are obese.
So statistically, they have less fat people, but there's more of them because they're a bigger.
The largest collection of obese people in the world is in India.
But that's because there's more of them.
Yeah.
It's like a statistical.
Yeah, but that's still a lot of fat people.
Yeah, I know, but it doesn't represent kind of the trend of the country. Because there's there's more fat Americans per capita than there are Indians.
Yeah,
Does
but
that
think
make
about
sense?
there are more obese Indians than there are total Americans.
No. What's 15% of one? How many billion? They do have a lot of heart attacks in India.
Population of India. 1.4 billion, right?
Wait, have they surpassed
of
China?
obese
Have they
in India.
surpassed China?
They haven't surpassed China. China's unbeatable. China number one.
Number one.
Don't do that. But yeah, Chinese population is crazy.
Google it.
Chinese population.
They
They have taken in.
Yes.
Oh.
Come on. India for the win.
710,000.
Nice.
All right. Percentage
So what is
of
it?
Indians obese. Oh.
Didn't get that.
Obesity rates in India. 23
God.
to 24. Okay.
So what's 23%?
So 1.45 billion
times 0.23.
Oh, this guy gets it. Times.
Yes. Stats. I learned to do stats because I'd studied psychology, and when I had no idea what psychology would be like.
Yeah.
And then I went to uni. I was like, do I have to do fucking maths? I thought all psychology was going to be like
Okay,
shagging your teachers
333
and
million.
talking about Freud over wine or something. I work for the NHS, by the way.
This is why no psychologist can help you, by the way. They are absolutely up their own arse.
Well, yeah, I'll talk about Freud and philosophize about life and flirt with my
Why do you love big women?
intersectional
Well,
feminist
Was your
teacher.
mother big? Freud does say if your mother's a big behemoth, you will like a larger woman. No,
So-
fuck Freud. But yeah, 333 million.
That's true. So you were right.
So they have the whole population of America of
Yeah,
just
but there's
obese people.
1.4 billion of them.
But they could build a fatter America if they wanted. Do you understand?
You know they've been
that?
to the moon as well, so
They've been to the moon.
they kind of a fat America.
They are kind of a fat Indian America. Fat Indian America.
There's this island in near like Australia,
Yeah.
like Papua New Guinea, around there.
All right.
And
I'll buy it for
they have the fattest population, I think, per capita because they got introduced to American fast food and they just lost it. They were like, "This is amazing,"
Yeah.
and they all just became really big. But I
Yeah.
forgot the name now.
Isn't that a good thing? Like, isn't it better? Like, I know it swings and roundabouts, but
No, it's not
if
for
a
that. Imagine the whole country being.
yeah, but if a population has lots of people who are undernourished and underweight, I'll say, because malnourished just means getting the wrong amount, not getting too much or too little, right? So if a population had lower, like lots of people are underweight, and then next it has lots of people who are overweight,
Yeah.
is that better or worse? It's probably better in the short term, right?
I think it's. What? You're saying it's better to have unhealthy, obese people over undernourished people?
I never said obese. Are you saying they're obese or they're just fat?
No, they're obese.
Oh shit.
Google it. Polynesian. Is that where-
Polynesian fat people. Why are Polynesian people so?
No, find the name of the island.
Oh, Maui.
Find the name of the
It's
island.
Hawaii, isn't it?
No.
Isn't it?
Oh, I think it's.
I think Hawaiians are Polynesian, right?
It's, right. Type Polynesian island fast food got obese.
Polynesian obesity rates.
No, I'm trying to find the specific island though,
The specific.
because I remember reading about it.
Above 60% are obese. That is crazy. Where are you from again?
Me, Cyprus.
All right.
Le Chypre.
Cyprus obesity rates. Cypriot obesity rates. Cypriot obesity rates. Oh, you absolute cunt.
Cyprus obesity rate.
Then we'll do Jamaica after. Okay.
Not race, rate.
They guess the same thing. Obesity rates in Cyprus. 16% of adults
that's not
in
bad.
Cyprus are obese. That's not bad. That's not bad.
Which country has the least obese people?
Well, Japan, of course. In Japan,
How do you know?
In Japan, it's rude to be obese.
It is, and they make you use different. They make you use different things. If you're, don't they make you use the stairs? If you're fat, you can't use the escalators. They got like barriers. And like, if you're too fat, go from here.
Less than 4% of the
No
population
way.
is considered obese.
Nice.
This is the
Nice.
lowest obesity rate in the developed world.
Yes.
You gotta give me my credit. I know my fat stats. I know where the
We
fat
know
people
why.
are, and I know where they are.
But for someone who judges fat people, you say you like bigger women.
Hey, look, I'll dabble. You know, if I walk into a bakery and I'm there for a chocolate cake, and they're like, "Sorry, we haven't got any chocolate cake today. Would you like some carrot cake?" I'm like, "Well, I've already made the trip. And I'm not gonna. Who am I to go home
Well
without
done,
slice?"
Daniel. Comparing women to cake. That is exactly
No.
what podcasts in 2025 should be talking about.
Well, they compare us to bears, so I think it's only fair.
What was that? I never got into it. Would you rather be in a? Is that what it was? Would you rather be in
would
the
you rather
forest?
be in the forest with a random bear or forest with a random man? And the thing is, I understand why a lot of women are saying a random man, because they're like, oh, do you know, like the horrors that an evil man could do to you would be way worse than things a bear could do to you.
I don't.
And-
Probably because there's a psychological thing,
There's a
and a man
psychological
can
thing.
make you suffer for a long time, like
You fear the
chain you
worst
in a
case
basement,
scenario,
all that shit.
right? The worst
But
case
the bear
scenario.
could just like eat you instantly.
Yeah. So
So
the
that
worst.
must be. Yeah, but there's more chances of a bear eating you instantly than a man being like a twisted fuck, right?
Yeah. Like,
I
to
would
be
say so.
honest, I have to ask myself the question: if I'm like lost in a forest, I want to see a man, because a bear. I am not smart.
Yeah, but you're a
enough-
man. Of
Even
course,
though-
you'd want to see a man.
Yeah, but I just think if you were lost in the forest, you would also want to see a man and not a bear.
To get out of the
I
fucking
think if you-
forest.
Yeah, I think most like even if it was a man who was an enemy, at least he might show. This might show me the route. Whereas a bear is certain death. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But a nightmare of mine is like I'm walking through a forest and I see bear cubs, and I'm like, oh no, oh no, this is terrible. And the bear cubs walking up to me, and I'm like, no, go away. And then the mother bear comes and she thinks I'm being aggressive, and she
eats
just
the fuck
mauls
out
me
of
to
you.
death. Have you seen The Revenant?
Can you imagine? No, I haven't. Can you imagine
God.
being eaten alive? Fuck, that's what happens in nature, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
Obviously. Have you ever seen like animals? Aren't animals like it's like the weirdest shit ever? Not weird, but it's so surreal that like animals will be next to each other
Yeah.
in like say the Serengeti or something, and then just it's just instinct. It's like they'll be next to each other, and then like the violence isn't psychological; it's purely instinctual. So they're just next to each other doing their thing, and then like there's a clock inside that it's just the switch has been flipped.
Yeah.
Oh, it's time to eat now. So they just look at each other, and just start eating each other. It's insane,
It's crazy. It's crazy to be like, all right.
and it's crazy how like.
I've just woken up. I'm going to kill everything I see for the next 4 months and then take a really big nap.
Bears living the life, man.
They are living the life. But can you imagine this, yeah? I think this is the best depiction of a bear attack.
Fuck. No way he survived that. Fuck. No. I think there's no way he'd survive that long. Nah, man.
Well, you could survive that long. You could
Nah.
survive for a while. And the thing is...
Nah, I think the bear will just fucking clip your head off
No.
instantly.
Because here's what you forget. Omnivores don't do quick kills on their prey. A bear will eat you while you're alive. A tiger
fuck.
will kill you quick. A snake
Why?
will kill you quick. They'll kill
Is
you
a
first
tiger
before-
not an omnivore?
A tiger is,
Is a meat eater? Okay.
just a carnivore.
Okay.
It will go for the kill. An omnivore is going to eat you the same way it eats through a beehive.
Okay,
It's
I
just
get
gonna
it.
eat until it's full. It doesn't give a fucking.
Okay, so it's just chowing down and like.
It will just
Doing
start
its-
chowing down.
Can you? But like, how do they not respond to fucking just cause of despair? Can you imagine every time you eat your food, it's screaming at you like, fucking stop eating me.
It might make, because it's just instinct for them, it probably makes it taste better.
Oh,
They're
God.
probably like, oh, this one's got a lot of life in it.
Fucking hell.
I mean, look at these two bears fighting, yeah? And you tell me, these are two bears fighting and they're fucking each other up.
But you see how how chill they are next to each other, and then
These guys, they're posturing right now, bro. These guys are not chill.
do you know why they
They're
do
showing
that?
their broad side to show how big they are.
Get the fuck out, then.
Oh, but I'm so glad they
The
did.
guy's like, this is happening dangerously close to us, and he's just filming these bears go.
But look, that's all muscle under that fur.
Look, fucking. How did that become a fucking symbol for teddy bear?
Bro, people saw two bears fighting and immediately came up with werewolves. They're like, that is two men who have turned into monsters fighting right now.
Fuck. No,
It
but
is,
do you get my point? How did it become a cuddly thing?
how did it become a cuddly thing?
Fucking Paddington will rip your children apart, man.
There's something cuter about some, like the baby version of something that's dangerous. Do you know what I mean? Like a baby tiger, because you know they grow up into this cute thing. Seeing them in that defenseless, puppy sort of kitten sort of mode, you're like, that is adorable. Same with a bear.
But I think
like,
anything
bear
tiny baby is cute though.
It's not the
except
same.
like insects.
a
and
bear
shit.
cub is gonna be more. It's gonna be cuter than a baby horse. Because you know the bear grows up to be a killer, so you're seeing into this window.
Yeah, but I think it's just because horses are just a bit weird. It's like you see them come out and they're like full of ectoplasm and they're just like moving around and they're skinny and like, oh, what's going on? I don't know. And then they just bump into their mother's placenta or something. I don't know.
Ugh. Yeah, same giraffe. Giraffe stick.
That was a thing for a minute, isn't it? People eating placentas.
Yeah, it was a thing. People still eat placentas.
I think it's not good for you.
Placenta smoothies for sale.
No way. That sounds like such a LA thing. Oh my
Placenta
god.
smoothies, intense sauce. The placenta practice.
Oh my.
The
That is not
placenta-
cool though, because they have placenta. They have placenta smoothie, and then they have a picture of a baby. That's implying that what you're gonna eat the baby.
No, but you need a baby for there to be a placenta.
Baby.
Hey, listen,
I went to like
speak
Pilates
down.
this morning, and then I got a placenta smoothie. I
Oh,
live in
people-
Hollywood.
And the thing
Boulevard.
is, in my head, a lot of the people doing this placenta smoothie stuff spend most of their 20s and 30s doing hardcore drugs.
Probably.
And they're trying to turn back the clock.
and they can't.
This is just like
It's like that
excess.
guy who's getting. Did we talk about this before? The guy who's getting.
His son's blood.
His son's
injected in
blood,
him
yeah.
So he can look young. And his skin looks translucent.
Have you seen those women who put period blood on their face?
No.
That's
you,
pretty-
you looked at me like, oh yeah. like you know who I'm talking
That
about.
is pretty cool. Yeah, apparently it's a thing. Because
Yeah.
you're taking back from like Mother Nature and you're putting it like on you.
Well,
I've seen women put like like their period blood on their face, and it's like, I am woman, taking back.
Yeah, but
To be honest with you, I don't think that's either good either, because I think period blood, like, you get rid of a lot of toxins as well.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I might be that might be completely wrong.
I mean, look,
But I don't
when
think it's
was
like the
very little,
cleanest.
I used to eat my scabs, and to think back that being something I used to do is grim. But to be
But you were
an
very
adult-
little.
to be
You
an
weren't like a
adult
40-year-old woman who's
40-year-old woman putting period blood in your face. It's mental illness. It's mental illness. We need to bring back shame. You know, back in the day, if someone's doing something like that, one day they'd get a knock on the door. It'll be these guys in white jackets, and it'd be taken away.
We don't do that anymore, sir.
do that anymore.
I work in mental health.
So now you've got to humour things like the placenta is known for its high content in stem cells and growth factors that together heal damaged tissues and organs at an incredible rate. Consuming the placenta raw is the most natural and powerful way to benefit your placenta after birth. Placenta smoothies have also been reported to spike energy levels and bring in breast milk much sooner than predicted. Do you know what?
And I thought AG1 was like overdoing it. Do you know what I mean? It's like those people who drink their piss and their cum as well. A woman that I was reading this, I heard about.
You're
this woman.
watching some weird videos online after hours.
I heard this woman who she's got a really healthy friend, like a guy who's like super fit and eats well and he's got like six pack and all that, and he gives her his semen, and she stores it like in the freezer, and she just adds it to her meals and stuff, and she's like, it's got like good nutrients in it, and I just put it in my food and I look great. And there's this other guy who drinks his piss, who by the way looks amazing.
Do I know this other guy by any chance?
Is it that bald guy? Wait, who are you talking about?
It's not you, is it?
No, don't worry.
And he looks amazing. I'm going to tell you who it is. But I know this guy. He's been drinking piss for years.
Oh my God, do you think I look
And his
amazing,
skin
babes? Thank
is
you.
Amazing. I will say, do you know what? I think I've only seen you for a beard for so long.
Yeah.
That it's like a different person is in my place.
I've shaved. That's why he's saying that. I shaved to be an extra in a student movie in fucking Birmingham. So I paid £60 to go to Birmingham to be an extra in a student movie. Woke up at 5 a.m. to get to Euston. Why?
Because you're a dickhead.
And I had to shave, and now I look like a baby. And not only that, we got there, and another extra had a fight with the main guy, and it's just like 34-year-old men fighting over fucking lines in a student movie. How that honestly made me feel a little bit better, because I'm like, sometimes I feel a bit low about myself. I'm like, what are you doing with your life? You're doing comedy. You're not going anywhere. And then I met these people, gay, of course. And then I met these people, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, man. I've got it together compared to these fucking twats.
Every now and then. That's why it's good living in Croydon sometimes. Because sometimes you're like, oh man, my life's really going right. And then you walk down the street and you see like a homeless man stepping glass and lose his nut. Just get off his nut.
Money. Talking to birds, like
Talking to birds, that screaming at the lampposts, talking to the street lamps and the cameras.
mental health is the thing.
And you just sort of go to yourself, it could be worse.
Look after your mental health, people. I work in the NHS and I am championing mental health. Mental health.
Don't listen to him. He's part of big mental health. You're not crazy. You've never been crazy. Everyone who's told you crazy has been gaslighting you, and you have been right this whole time. I want you to take that with you, and I want you to run.
But also, if you can afford private, go private, because the NHS, will kill you.
If you can afford private, don't go private. Instead, buy yourself the largest piece of shungite you can find and put it in the center of where you dwell most of the time.
What's shunga?
What's shungite?
What's shungite?
Oh my God. Bro, you have not, if you haven't looked into shungite, you don't even care about your health. The health benefits of shungite.
Shungite.
Of Shanghai. I promise you, my mic is fucked.
Shungite.
You've never heard of
Shungite sounds shite. What is it?
Shungite is a carbon-rich stone that some people believe has health benefits, but there is little research to support these claims.
Is this like
claimed health benefits? Reduces inflammation. Some people use shungite pads to reduce joint pain and inflammation.
How would a rock in the middle of your house help you?
Because it's about energy. Do you believe in energy? Newton's law?
Listen to me. You
Improve
have
bad
been
circulation.
sitting here.
Bad circulation. Are you
For-
obese? Have you been drinking
You
alcohol?
have been sitting here for half an hour talking shit about fat people
Yeah.
and all different kinds of shit. And now you're telling me you believe in stones.
I don't believe
And
in stones.
minerals
I'm
and
just,
rocks.
I'm not a rich person. I'm just saying, if you're a rich person and you have enough money to afford private, why go private? You should get the top echelon, Shungite. Either Shungite or Jade.
Like
or
a
do you know what? Get yourself some
Hippie crystal
quartz.
chick
If-
on
oh,
Hinge, honestly, man.
Do you find it hard to be organized? Put some quartz just in your drawers every now and then, and it will help you be more organized. First of all, I have a few people in my life who love this stuff, and
Yeah.
I will let them go at length, and I'll be like, really? Crazy. I remember my sister.
To be honest with you,
Look,
to
I
be
love my
honest with
sisters,
you,
yeah.
Go on and I'll tell you.
I love my sisters to bits, yeah. And once I came home, and I was like, "Where was this?" I went outside, yeah, and I kid you not, they were charging their rocks in the full moon.
Shut
and I was like, "These people are crazy." I love my sisters to bits, but some of you crystal people you are doing a lot. It's pretty much Pokemon, except it's just
Easy
like a
with
weird,
the Pokemon.
It's an easy-
Where is it? Where's
Well,
your
we'll-
thing?
We'll get into the Pokemon later. People, don't-
How old are you? 27.
27.
Darnell is 27 and he has a Pokemon folder.
Yeah, you're fucking 31 and you eat what? You eat what? What is
What
it?
tahini?
What do you eat for breakfast again?
Eggs.
Fruit and fiber.
What's wrong with fruit
It's
fiber?
much more normal for someone 27.
No,
to be
man.
into
What are you
Pokemon
talking about?
than it
And
is
then you
someone
said,
who's
what was your
31 to
favorite
be eating
You
fruits
showed
and
me.
fiber.
What was your favorite Pokemon? What's it called?
My favorite Pokemon's Luxray.
My favorite Pokemon's Alexa. That's like Disney adults.
It's not like
Marvel
Disney
adults.
are nonsense.
Like
right?
those.
They're nonsense.
Like those twats in King's Cross who take pictures with a platform 9 3/4.
They're tourists.
They're not tourists. They're adults, and they shouldn't be doing
They're
that.
not tourists. They're adults.
They shouldn't be doing
What a
that.
complex. I can't believe you're not into this Shungite at all. Like,
Dude, do you know
this
what, though?
blocks 5G. This will block 5G from scrambling your brain. That's what they want.
I
You're just
believe
part
that.
of big psychology. You're just
Nah,
trying
man.
to tell me this stuff's fake. Obviously, I'll be honest. I don't believe in any of that horse shit. I don't believe that Mercury is making you crazy for a month. I think you're just being a bitch. I don't think that you've got some glandular problem. I think you're just fat. Yeah, most of this health pseudoscience hugmala, as you can tell from the exercise bike, I don't believe in that shit.
I think I do have a little streak inside me that's a bit like hippie-ish,
Hippie-ish.
yoga mom kind of. I think those people who are just too far gone though, like the crystal people, that's a little bit too much.
Yeah,
But, like
it's a lot.
deep down, I think I do vibe with the like more wholesome, like taking care of yourself and like energy, and like you can
Yeah.
tell some people have a nice energy, right? Do you know what I mean?
No.
No, I think
disagree.
so.
I don't think that's what it is. I think it's
think
just
so.
like a lot of communication's non-verbal, and when you meet someone you just don't like them, you can't put your finger on why you like them.
Yeah,
So
but that's what I
it's
mean.
Your
There's non-verbal things we don't really know.
It's like your feral brain that's always been
Yeah.
there. That is telling you this person is bad for you because you don't necessarily gel. Your energies don't gel.
I think that, but though I think like there's this like it's all made from the same shit, like whatever the cosmos. It's all matter. It's all like. So I think
You
there
don't
is-
believe in crystals, but you believe in energy.
I'm not energy in like.
I
I,
don't
think
want
there is something about the universe. Like we're all in this together, and it's all about love and all this shit. I believe a little bit of that.
I don't. I think this is all just one big accident soup, and there's things that make things beautiful and things that make things bad. And if you don't like someone and they call you crazy, you're not crazy. Don't call up a helpline. You're fine.
No, some people are struggling.
Some people. I'll be honest. Last year,
Some
there was
people
there
are
was
going
this
through a
girl.
lot
There was
of
this girl. Oh
things,
my
man.
god, I was enamored by this girl. I truly was. And I hadn't caught any red flags. And I remember when I went to a place, I saw a bird. I saw a dream catcher, and I thought, fucking hell, that's a bit much. But you ignore it. You go, what's
Yeah,
a
it's
little
only
dream
one
catcher?
thing.
And do you know what? The more you get to know these people, they are absolutely sick. All right, you see a dream catcher, you see some shungite, you see some crystals, you've seen them all. This is a mentally ill person who doesn't want to pay for BetterHelp anymore because they don't want to be told they're crazy.
I've got a worse one.
Oh, what's
Go
worse?
over, keep going.
No, it's true. I just generally think like if I was walking down the street one day and I suddenly felt a weird like electricity up my spine and I looked up and I saw the moon in the day, I would assume I'm having a manic episode. I wouldn't assume that the moon is sending me messages of calmness and recovery
True.
and, you know, emancipation. Emancipation from what?
I think there's just there's a fine line between like, I think some spiritual, like calm people who have practiced meditation for a long time, sort of like they get keyed into this like thing of life where they strip away like their egos and their consumerism and they just like, they're one with like the hum of the world. But then it's a fine line between those people who just get on with their life that way to like the crazy people who are just like, think they're teleporting to the moon and back. Do you know what I mean? Does that kind of make...
Yeah, look, it's a spectrum for sure. There's like some people, it's like, you know, having these crystals helps mellow me out, you know, and I don't know why. Maybe it's placebo effect, but I just like to have it around me. You know, in my head, that's just, you know, it's just, oh, you like crystals, but you don't know what they're made of. You're just a dumb geologist, in my opinion. Like, you don't even look into, you obviously don't care about how they're made, because if you knew how they were fucking made, you wouldn't think they had all this power. But
so, you were saying, because I don't want to forget this.
Oh, yeah.
You were saying about going to a girl's house and you saw a dream catcher on her wall.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I was in school,
Demonic.
when I was a teenager in school, so like high school,
Yeah.
there was this girl in my school who had a bit of a reputation for like, you know, sleeping around.
Slag.
Yeah, right? She was really hot as well. She was really, really cute. And I was a teenager. We were like, this isn't...
She was hot. No, she was a child.
This isn't me being like, she's hot now. I was like
we get
17 and she was 16, okay? Or 50 or something. So we were like...
Yeah, legal in Cyprus.
Yeah, anyway. So, you know, we were both in school. So, you know, me and her started, you know, like hanging out a little bit. And she invited me to her house once. And do you know what I saw on her door?
What?
Bear in mind, like, this is just like a random, normal Cypriot girl. We were just vibing. You know, there was nothing about her that would have given this away.
On her door.
Yeah. You guess, and then I'll just...
Was it a Scientology poster?
No, even worse.
Even worse.
Yeah.
Oh no. Was it like one of those pictures of someone like kneeling in like crisscross applesauce and there's like beams of light coming out?
No, it's not that spiritual. It's actually quite just troubling. They were like stickers on her door of swastikas.
Whoa.
And Hitler. There was a little Hitler sticker. And I was like, what the fuck is this? I told her. And she said, what? Well, it's like, you know, me and my family, we're like super right wing. And I was like, yeah, but I mean, come on. There's right wing and then there's fucking Hitler on the wall, man. And I was like, I was a bit taken back. And then she's like, oh, come with me. She took me to her parents' room, right? There was no one at home. And double bed, you know, parent room. There was a little statue, like a little wall emblem of a Hitler head.
Oh my God.
In gold. I was like, what the fuck is that?
You should have reported these people.
Dude.
To the UN.
She took me to her room. She had like his speeches printed out. She started reading them in German. I was like, what the fuck is going on here? Did I sleep with her? I did. Does that make me a bad person? Does that make me a bad person? Probably. But in my defense, I was young, stupid, and horny, and I didn't sleep with her at her house. She came around to my house another time, and on my wall there was a Che Guevara poster, who was also quite homophobic and killed a lot of people. But you know, if you're like young and hip and in East London, you love Che Guevara somehow.
I'm more of a Che Guevara dictator kind of guy.
So I did shag her, and she was staring at Che Guevara, who's kind of the opposite of Hitler in a way.
I wouldn't say he's the opposite of Hitler in the way. I'd say he just was a much less successful Hitler.
Probably.
Yeah, and I think
he was like a left-wing Hitler.
A left-wing Hitler.
Yeah.
A communist Hitler. Well, that's Stalin.
Yeah, I don't know.
He's just like a weekend warrior Hitler, isn't he?
He wanted to... He was very homophobic. He killed a lot of gay people, apparently.
Yeah.
He wanted to turn the whole world into a communist... I had a thing for him when I was young because we do this stupid thing in Cyprus where we associate football with like politics. So if you're with this team, you're like, oh, I'm a communist, and we're all just like middle class, but you know, we pretend to be communists.
Yeah.
And then if you're with this team, you're like right wing, and you're like, you know. So I was with the left wing team, so obviously I had like Che Guevara posters and T-shirts and stuff. And then I was like, but I go to private schools, so I shouldn't really be talking about fucking communism. And yeah.
Everyone should share. Want more kids in your classroom? Not my classroom, but
But I think it's quite common.
build a classroom out there on the dirt for them.
It's quite common for, you know, middle class, left leaning people to champagne socialism is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
you know?
champagne. What like
Like all of fucking, what is it? I was gonna say Hackney, but not Hackney in a way. Islington.
yeah. No, I mean it's the whole sort of
Like fucking, what's his name? Jeremy Corbyn. Oh, I'm rich, but fuck off, man. I don't want to start talking about politics right now.
Fuck off, Corbyn.
It's like, what's his
No,
name?
I'm fucking
That
rich.
guy, that fucking guy from America. What's his name? That everyone was so excited about. Fucking
Trump?
no, the other guy, the
Elon Musk?
left guy who was they sort of
Oh, Bernie Sanders.
Bernie Sanders, who after he didn't manage to get into office, was like published a book called "It's Okay to Be Annoyed with Capitalism," and it was a #1 bestseller in Waterstones for so long. Fucking give your money to charity, then, you old bag. If it's okay to be upset
Do you
with
know what?
capitalism,
Do you know what?
It's okay to be upset with capitalism, but I'm going to personally take advantage of it and make a lot of money, and then lecture you on how it's okay to be upset about capitalism.
You need
That
to-
is called hypocrisy, my friend.
He's
And
not a
you can fuck
hypocrite.
right off.
Bernie is the only person
Okay.
in American politics that is not a hypocrite, and I promise you this: if you read that book, it will not have the content you think is in the book,
Okay.
because the book does not.
I may
say,
stand corrected.
The book is not about communism bad. It's not about capitalism bad, communism good. It's about there are honest flaws about the way that capitalism manifests
There
in our
is,
society.
of
and
course.
that's fine.
That
And
is
that's fine.
fine,
And that's a
granted.
good book. And when he was in fucking DC marching with Martin Luther King, where were you?
I wasn't born, mate. I was
Yeah, exactly.
dad's
They were
bollocks.
doing fucking nothing. Right? Your dad's bollocks stewing. No, like I promise you, I
haven't
think
re-
he's
okay, maybe
and
I
the
stand-
Democratic Party absolutely fucked him. They wanted Hillary so bad that he did not get a fair shake, and there was definitely fraud when it came to the actual representative
For sure.
dispute. Anyways, Bernie got fucked. He was the best thing for America, and now they've got this orange guy, and they're fucked. It's all-
So the moral of the story is don't sleep with people who like Hitler.
Yeah, that's the moral of the story. Also,
Unless they're
speaking
really
of-
kinky and hot, then you can.
No, I think then
Get a
you
pass.
still don't do it. You can
Still don't do it. Don't be
you
like
can
me.
twist it in your mind as like, oh, see, I'm fucking the Nazis. But even then, you are, if you're providing pleasure to someone who would like to see half of the world dead, I think there's something wrong with that. No judgment on you. You were 17. Oh,
Yeah.
shit, we all do bad things when we're young.
Probably.
But speaking of people liking Nazi stuff,
Yeah.
Elon Musk. Do you
Gr-
think this is your favorite topic? Do you think he did that Nazi salute on purpose?
I don't know. I don't. Look. I see how it. I'm not here being like an Elon Musk, like, what's the word, like fanboy, being like, leave him alone. He's autistic. He did, because some people were like, hey, he's autistic and he did that because whatever. That the way the semantics of that was like, come on, dude, that's a fucking. You don't do that shit, man.
Yeah.
You don't do this. It's a fucking Nazi salute.
It's
Do you know
not
what I mean?
fair on autistic people. To be like-
Also, it's not fair on exactly being like, oh, every autistic person can impulsively do
of
the
course they like
Nazi
the
salute.
Nazis. They love trains. It's like, no, that's not
That's not how it
how
happens,
it
man.
happens. Most
Nah.
people who have autism on the
I'd like
spectrum
to-
are reasonable, sensible people. who
I'd
don't
like
support
to know how he just became inclined to do that. I don't think he's a Nazi.
I don't think he's a
Personally.
Nazi, but I do think he is someone who yearns for people to like him, and he doesn't particularly get how to do that through charm or character. So he
Yeah,
does
but
it
how?
through. Like,
Surely
these-
you know that, like, doing the Nazi salute is not going to get people to like you. Because I would like to think that the majority of the world population is not savvy on like Nazism.
Yeah. I mean, I'd like to think most of the world. Look, my birthday
Yeah,
is on the 27th of January. Do you know what 27th of January is?
is that the Holocaust
It's his
memorial?
Holocaust Memorial Day. Right?
Yeah.
And so in school, every morning I'd have an assembly on the Holocaust and stuff like that. And I personally just think it's like if he is smart enough to understand history and he is smart enough to understand context. And there's certain things that can be ruined by their past history. That salute is ruined by its past history. That mustache is ruined by its past history. That symbol is ruined by its past history. You know, they ruin that. And I personally just feel like if you're smart enough to build rockets, you should be smart enough to understand how to put your hand in the air.
Yeah.
That's my opinion.
Or to be like, do this. If you want, or do this. If it's like, I love you, or do it like this.
Yeah.
Not like fucking this. Come on, man. And doing it twice as well.
Doing it twice.
Fuck.
You know, I mean, one's autism, but what's the other
Fool
one?
me once.
No, I'm
Shame
joking.
on you. Fool me
genuinely
twice.
don't
I'm
think
autistic.
he's on the spectrum. He did this thing. I think it's...
No, that's not an excuse.
He is a megalomaniac, and he
Do you
is
think
maybe not
though
socially
it was
intelligent.
just an impulsive like? Do you think it just happened, or do you think he is like before that in his head he was like, I'm gonna do this thing?
Yeah,
I don't think it was premeditated. Is what I'm trying to say.
In my head, I'm like, you know, if I'm trying to be as charitable as possible, it could be, well, they're calling us fascists. Well, call us fascists now.
Yeah.
But that's a dumb way to do that. You
Yeah.
could have just said that.
Yeah,
You know, so like for me, I personally think it's a very bad call for
Yeah.
a very stupid man. He's rich and he's smart where it counts, but you cannot accumulate that much wealth without some atrocities in the back. And I personally think the theatre production is great, but there's someone dying on the lights right now trying to keep this guy afloat. There's defos. If Bezos is doing atrocities and he has more money than Bezos, he is definitely responsible for atrocities as well.
Oh,
I think he might be more evil than Bezos.
I don't know.
Because Bezos
Dude,
just
I
wants
think
money.
like you,
He just wants
fucking-
money. Whereas the other guy doesn't just want money. He doesn't want to just do a Rothschild and sit in the background.
Yeah.
When was the last time you heard Bezos speak on something? You didn't. You know?
Yeah,
This
but I don't
guy
know.
wants
I
to be
think
heard.
like I think a lot of people shit on him without sort of just pointing out why they. I'm not honestly. I don't really care about him that
You
much.
want to suck off mass, don't you?
But I don't understand why people just. Oh, because he's on the wrong side of history, quote unquote. We just automatically shit on him. Like this is
Yeah.
before the whole salute thing. Like, where's the proof? Tell me what he's done wrong.
Yeah.
Tell me why you don't like him. Oh, because he went on the Joe Rogan podcast. Oh, okay. So what? What does that have anything to do with it? Do you know what I mean? I think people just don't
Yeah.
like him. What? Because he bought Twitter and made it okay for everyone to be on there. And I know there's a lot of shit on Twitter now or X
Yeah.
or whatever, but I'm just saying, like, I don't know. Before you're gonna viscerally hate someone that much, you should have a reason for it, not just because he doesn't like the same cultural things as you like, or because he's got other opinions than you. Do you know what I mean?
No, I get what you mean. I think it is a bit of
I
a...
don't jump on the hate wagon just because, especially when you claim to be like, oh, we're the liberal,
We're the
we love
progressive
everyone.
Well, I just think
know.
if you're at either end of the spectrum, you're usually a fucktard.
Yeah.
And I...
Just why people evil? Just gotta love, brother.
Nah, it's human nature. But I
know?
do think, like... There's things not to like about Musk that I don't like. That I don't
things
think
are
that
probably
I don't
not
think
to
the
like
things-
about me. I send dick pics and I like feet. Like what? the
No,
fuck
but those
do
are
you
all
want me to
forgivable
do?
things, and if you find someone who likes them, you know that's fine.
Yeah,
but like, I
fair
don't
enough.
think most children would like mining in a lithium farm where they're going to get permanently
Yeah.
shorter lives, or cobalt, or any of these raw
Yeah,
materials.
but we're in a way
I
we're
don't-
all accomplices in a way.
No, we're
So- Yes, we are. You
We're not all
you
accomplices.
use laptops that have that shit in them and phones, and we're doing this. And
Do you see an Apple product in this house?
Oh, so the lithium for that computer, it doesn't come from the Congo, but the lithium
No.
in my Apple does.
You're missing what I'm saying. So if a product is made to get worse, or a product is made in a way where they know it cannot last a certain amount of time, they should not make that product if it is going to have vital and finite resources into it. So a TV that lasts ages, Lenovo that lasts ages, things that are reasonable and stuff like that, that's perfectly fine.
Why is
but
that
to create
fine,
create
though?
a whole fleet of cars that will not be able to last, while
So is it
convincing
just a
people
time thing?
that they are, it's a time thing.
Why is
And
that? Why is that okay though?
Why is what okay?
Why is it if a kid was to suffer a mine for your laptop once, how is that better than him suffering and mining for multiple phones?
Because if
The
a child,
suffering is the end,
Okay.
is the end product that what we're trying to.
the end
solve.
product is, hyper consumerism and feeling like you need
Absolutely, I'm not
a
saying-
new phone every year, feeling like you need
Yeah,
a
but
new
that's
thing
besides
every
the point, though.
buying a car that is just wholly unsustainable and will not last,
Yeah.
and it takes such a large amount of resources to make purely for the fucking bragging rights. That car is an Apple iPhone 6. Do you know what I mean? It's a symbol.
I
It does
agree
nothing
with
for
you.
the environment.
I agree with you completely on the whole consumerism thing, and
Yeah.
people should try and find meaning in their life that isn't just senselessly and endlessly consuming things. And I'm all for it, man. But I'm just saying, it's a fucked up world, and we're all sort of part of it, and we ignore it every day, because if we didn't, we'd all go fucking mental. Because you can't be walking down the street every day thinking about. Can you imagine walking down the street every day and thinking about all the atrocities that go on in the world? How would you be able to function? But I'm saying that doesn't, because you have a laptop that doesn't have software in it that makes it
Get worse over time.
get worse every time you use it, and you're going to have to replace it. Still, someone suffered to make it. So you're not better than I am because I have an Apple. I'm just trying to say we're both a little bit shit.
No, I'm so much better than you are.
Probably, but
it's
for other reasons, not
No,
because of fucking.
Because of the Apple stuff specifically, I'm actually just such a better person. I care about the planet so much more. I grow my own food. I grow my own veg.
You don't grow your own food. You grew veg for 3 months. It's not like you grow your own food and you live off your own food. Where's your fucking cow? If you ever have beef again, where is it?
I never said I grow all my own food, but I'm doing what I can.
But that is exactly what people say. But I'm doing what I can. Yeah,
No, but a lot of people
until
say
you
that.
until you can do the best, don't judge other people, because we all have weaknesses. Do you know what I
I'm
mean?
going to judge other people.
I'm not saying.
if they're
I'm not talking
complaining
about
shit.
you. I'm
If
talking
someone's
about.
complaining
I'm talking about all these.
I'm so fucking oppressed.
I'm
as well.
talking about
capitalism. Why are you
all-
complaining? Capitalism's the reason you have your blood clot iPhone.
I'm talking about all these like liberally people who go around getting drunk on the weekend and doing cat and being all artsy, and then they expect the world to solve their problems.
Yeah, I'm saying those are the people I don't like.
Okay.
In my opinion, don't complain.
Exactly.
know? Like,
I'm
I-
all for that.
I remember watching a slave
Make the
documentary.
world a better place in every little thing you can.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
But
Go and
don't act
donate
as if
blood.
you-
Help your neighbor.
Yes.
Do all those things before you try and fix the world, because the world's fucked up.
No, I'm just saying I don't like people acting like they're the hero when they're most. part
Thank
of
you
the
very
villain.
much. I think we're on the same page. I'm going to have the last one of these because these are
The last one of
delicious.
those. What, you going back to
Okay.
Thailand to get me more? No, I'm joking.
I'll-
You can have it.
no, I'll leave it.
I've got more in my bag.
Right. You've got more.
Yeah, I've got more.
For those who might hear this eventually, this is a Thai mango fudge, and it tastes amazing. If you're ever in Thailand, you should definitely go to see Ladyboys and get one of these.
That's why you went to Thailand.
I've never been yet.
Yeah, allegedly.
All right.
Um,
I'm going to check
right.
if anyone has sent in any of their confessions.
Yeah.
Or do you want to?
What time is it? How long have we been going?
This is about 53 minutes.
Oh yeah, let's go to subscriptions. Not subscriptions, submissions.
And
We can check out some subscriptions up.
I hope.
Do you know what?
friends-
I was on Instagram the other day while I was just looking up these subscriptions. I saw this account, and I was like, oh my God, she's got no arms and no legs. And I went, I immediately went to the comments and I was like, maybe this will be one where people are being wholesome. And people were like checking the link in her bio. And she had an OnlyFans. And I just thought to myself, what kind of sick, depraved fuck do you have to be to be
pay?
subscribing to the OnlyFans of someone with no limbs? And then I thought to
How
myself,
does she address
that's
that?
wrong of me. That's bigoted of me to think because
You're an
she should-
ableist.
She should have it. No, but it's true. She should have as much a right as anyone else.
Yeah.
With their own bodies to present what they want.
What is it? Is
She
it-
has less body to present, but it's her right to present it. But it's a weird thought idea. It's like who's wrong? It's like she's not wrong. Are the people who watch her wrong? No, because they're sustaining her lifestyle.
Exactly.
So really, I think the real moral of the story is just make sure you're wanking for a good cause.
Probably.
And that's why I don't buy Apple products.
What do you think of what's her name who slept with 100 blokes
Oh, she slept with 100 bakes.
in one day?
I
Lily, is it Lily Phillips or something like that?
He pretends to be unsure about the name after saying the name perfectly. Look, I think it's just disgusting. I think it's vile. I think it should be banned, and I think she deserves to be behind bars.
No, what are you saying behind bars?
I think you deserve to be behind bars. I just think it is absolutely a public health concern when someone is sleeping with 100 people.
She says she's going to do 1,000 in February.
She's going to do 1,000 in February.
Because she wants to break
Not on
the
my
record.
watch. I'm starting a campaign right now. Get Lily
should go.
Phillips banned from orgy. Well, I also just think it's just like I know this isn't on her. It's just going to be the saddest dregs of society.
Dude,
who would rather like
a guy I saw. This guy, he was this video guy who makes YouTube documentaries.
Yeah.
He's the guy who scammed. What's her name? There's this woman who does like political commentary. She's quite right wing. He scammed
she
her.
blonde.
No, yes, blonde older lady.
Blonde, white,
tall,
rude, says things about Muslims.
Yeah. And he scammed her. Katie Hopkins?
Katie Hopkins.
Yeah. He's the one who scammed her and invited her to this award ceremony in the Czech Republic or something, and then ended up giving her a trophy that said "I'm a cunt" or something. So anyway, this is a long-winded way of saying that guy who did that also documented the day of Lily Phillips sleeping with 100 blokes. So he made like a documentary about it. And at the end, she's eating dinner and she's crying. I'm like, why are you going to do 1,000 if you're crying alone right now? She's like, it was a little bit too much and I wouldn't suggest it for anyone, but that's what I'm good at.
And do you know why she's doing it? Because it's mental.
Because of the money.
Because she's never had the same level of positive feedback. Although she gets lots of negative, she's never had that level of positive feedback. So she would rather do that. What's she going to do now? You've already slept with 100 men in a night. The whole world knows about you. The only way is
she's
up.
an OnlyFans
Oh,
girl,
no, I
so
think I'm going to go back to working in retail.
No.
You ain't doing that. I promise you that.
She doesn't. Financially, she does it because she's making a lot of money off OnlyFans
Yeah, of course.
and Pornhub. She doesn't need to work in retail, but it's just.
Bro, she doesn't need to fuck 1,000 people in a day. She can still keep making good money, but she knows if she wants to make more money, she has to do it.
Well, that's the thing with all these things. Like you start a lot of this guy interviewed another OnlyFans model from Southampton, and she was saying how she needed the money, and she's like married, she's got a kid, and they were struggling financially, and she just started. It creeps up on you, like you start very innocently, like just pictures with like underwear and nothing too explicit, and then your subscribers and the money starts dropping down, so you have to go even more extreme. So you start doing full nudity, and then that doesn't get anything, and then you start doing more. So maybe you wank on the thing, and then it's butt plugs, and then it's full on sex, and then it just becomes a whole thing, and like 3 years down the line, you're getting DP'd by like some
some brother from the Congo. Gets
spit roasted
by two cousins from two Togolese bad boys.
Jesus Christ, man.
But I do feel sympathy for people in that sense. I don't give a fuck, honestly. I think, hey, if you want to do that and you think you're going to come out of it with no scars, I think it's anything. It's like, I'm not a religious person. I'm not too religious. I was raised Catholic and I carry a lot of those values still.
Yeah.
But I do generally think that is stuff. There are things you can do to get money and fame that's still from your
soul.
Absolutely. And you don't get those things back.
Yeah.
The more you sell, the more you gain monetarily. But like that feeling you have when you're amongst your friends and you can tell they all genuinely have good opinions of you. And you can tell your relationships are organic, and you talk to someone, you go for a job interview, or you meet someone at work and you tell they genuinely respect you and stuff like that. Those are things you can't put a price on, right? Like you've recently got a new job. This hard work you've done to get there makes it all worth it when someone looks at you and asks your honest opinion about something, right?
Yeah.
And they put you in this position of respect. Whether it's a colleague or someone who is ignorant to what you do, they give you sort of a reverence and respect for it. You do not have that with porn. You cannot have that with porn. You're accepted unless it's other porn actors, and even then, if the only people who give you the respect, like if I was selling drugs and the only people who showed me any sign of respect was other people who sold drugs, I don't know if I'd actually feel like I'm respected, because I know I'm doing something that for me doesn't speak to what I want to be bringing into the world.
Yeah. Do you think though those people, a lot of women, because I've read up a little bit on, after I saw that video, I heard other like podcasts talk about it, and like people write articles about it, and how like a lot of women, it's tricky because a lot of women when they're younger and they get into this sort of stuff, and some blokes, I guess, they're like very, oh yeah, it's what I wanted, it's me liberating myself, blah 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 blah, all that jazz, and then they get older and they regret it, and a lot of them become like campaigners and activists, like anti-porn activists, and they're like, well, I was abused and I didn't know about it, and it's all like a trauma response and blah 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 blah. And then, but how can you, do you know what I mean?
How do you reconcile?
How do you how do you reconcile? How can you intervene in time when someone's young and like, this is what I want to do, and they're like being so catastrophic with their life? How can you can't tell them, hey, you're going to regret this in 20 years, because then they'll just blow you off. No pun intended.
Maybe some of them will. But it's one of those things. It's like, yeah, you can tell someone that this is a healthy way to live, and they might not listen to you. Should you not tell them the healthy way to live?
Yeah.
You know, I think some people, it will wake them up and it will change them. I don't think there's anything overtly wrong with doing pornography and stuff like that, but I think a lot of these people have, you know, their interconnected personal lives are really damaged.
Yeah.
I think their relationship with their parents and their family is really damaged, and I don't think those things repair overnight. You know, there's people whose parents were mean to them growing up, who are like too strict, and people resent it for years.
Yeah.
And so I don't, you know, it takes years for them to come back. I think it would take a lot of parents, they wouldn't be able to look at their own child the same way ever again. And you'll feel that even if they don't say it. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, have you ever disappointed your parents? You're like,
too many times.
What I did was like, that's hit me at my core. And it's hit me at my core because of how much I love and respect my parents, what they've had to do for me. I can't imagine like walking in after all my mum's had to sacrifice and all this thing and being like, hey mum, I got a raise. I'm earning like 25 more grand than I was last year. And she's like, oh, what are you doing? You seem so much happier. And I tell her, well, mum, you know, I've been selling my knob on OnlyFans. She would look at me and she wouldn't care that I was earning more money, and she wouldn't care that I was happier.
Yeah.
She'd be ashamed.
Yeah.
And so I think a lot of people are fooling themselves into thinking that their opinion of what they do won't change.
Her parents are on board though, this specific one.
Which
apparently
makes it even creepier.
I know, that's fucked up.
My daughter's, that guy her dad came out and he was like, I'm proud of her, you know.
Yeah.
I can't imagine saying you're proud of your daughter for letting 100 guys spaff it up her gump.
He didn't, her parents know about her being an OnlyFans model, but she didn't really key them into like, oh, I'm planning to sleep with 100 blokes tomorrow.
You think they don't know?
Well, they know now, but it's not like she told them before doing it. She's like, because she said it on the docu. She's like, I kept them out of it. I didn't really tell them. Oh yeah, they don't know the extent.
That's a healthy way to do it.
They don't know the extent.
I'll let them find out.
And she also said
afterwards.
that some of this fucking lechy blokes, man. Some of her dad's friends follow her on OnlyFans. That's fucked up, man.
That is fucking vile.
Disgusting, mate.
That's fucking grim.
Do you think at the end of the day it all comes down to the consumer? So a lot of men at fault for all this weird shit with porn and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess. I mean, it does come down to the consumers will get what if someone's willing to provide it, consumers will consume it.
Yeah.
But I do also think it's one of those things where it's like, you know, I think there are a lot of people who are addicted to masturbation.
Yep.
And are addicted to nutting, and a lot of their personal income goes towards those things, even though here's this, right?
Yeah.
Can you imagine this? There is an infinite amount
of porn.
No, you would never be able to. You would never in your lifetime
be able to watch all
of the porn. And there are people who pay for it, right?
Yeah, but there's other things at play psychologically, because if you pay for OnlyFans, sometimes you get to chat with them, and you're not even
but
chatting.
You're not chatting to them. You're chatting to some fat Turkish bloke in an office in Taiwan. Like,
yeah, because these people hire people to chat to other. But
Of
still,
course.
you can get like personalized videos of like she'll say your name and shit like that. So it's
You know
like
how sad that is.
It is sad, but I'm just saying it's not just about it's not just about the images, because even the porn changes. Like you start watching like vanilla porn, and then 10 years down the line, you're into like fucking BDSM, dominatrix, slapping your dick around, fucking, do you know what I mean? It creeps up on you, man. I've been through some weird
You're like
rabbit
a-
holes with six addiction.
Have
and
you ever
shit.
seen that painting
Oh,
of
God.
that guy who's got shell shock in Vietnam painting? Shell shock in Vietnam painting. All right, and this is the way you're looking at me as you talk about this porn. By the
I've
way,
had my little scares, you know. I've had my
I have to find the painting. You'll know exactly what I'm
shell
talking about.
shock.
Yes, Vietnam.
No, because you said talk.
Yeah, I know. Fucking idiot.
Shell shock.
Vietnam shell shock painting. This painting. This is how you looked at me when you were describing the dark descent into it.
My eyes.
It just creeps up on you. One minute you're being deployed with all of your best friends, and then you're watching your men die around you. It's like, no, you can just not go to this route. People need
One
to
minute you're holding hands,
But this
next minute you want a dumb mummy to beat the shit out of you. Make her, you know, kiss her feet and shit.
Yeah, I just want a muscle mummy to choke you out. No, I do think, like,
God.
if you're a guy out there and you're watching stuff you're not proud of, so before you
doing
press
it.
play on that video, I want you to read the title out loud. And if you whisper it, you should not be saying that video. You should not be watching it. If you read that title out loud and you naturally whisper.
Yeah.
So just, you might be in the house by yourself and you'll whisper it. You know, just in case the government's listening, you should not be watching that video. So I think both sides can be at fault. The dealer and the user are both at fault in this case. And also, like, there not being proper protections on people who are under 18 being able to get access to hardcore pornography. that really, that in 100 years, we will look back and we'll be like, isn't it crazy that a 10-year-old could just watch some crazy porn
It's
at the push of a button?
It's insane.
While their parents are watching Flog It
Oh,
next door. They're upstairs watching some of the most distraught, lifeless debauchery online that's ever
I'm
existed.
Very happy Pornhub wasn't around when I was a teenager. So I remember trying to find porn with my friend once, and it was just such a fucking...
Your friend.
When we were like teenagers, just on the laptop trying to...
That's pretty gay, bro.
trying to find... this friend of mine one day...
Hey, do you want to play Xbox? Nah, I've got a better idea.
This friend of mine one day... I'll tell you this. One day we wanked together, but we made sure to... Listen, we made sure to have our backs to each other.
Oh, yeah.
So we don't look at each
Like
other.
you're in a fucking action movie. You're fighting.
He
on
was like,
cameras.
let's have a wank. Because just, you know, young boys are just horny all the time. And he was like, let's have a wank, right? But just to make sure it's not gay, let's put a pillow between our backs and put our backs against each other.
Yeah, but how do you know he wasn't like watching you through the reflection?
I
of,
hope
like, a
I
picture
hope he
frame?
wasn't. And then, do you know what we did to confirm we weren't gay? We watched gay porn just to make sure we didn't get hard. And we didn't. So that's... I'm not saying it's cool because there's anything wrong with being gay, but I just confirmed. That sounded a little bit homophobic, didn't it?
It doesn't confirm anything. I'll be honest with you. That doesn't confirm anything.
But yeah, and to this day, it's the reason why, because you know how some women are like, oh, free the nipple. I have hair everywhere and you respect me because I'm a feminist and all
yeah,
that stuff.
Sasquatch.
Yeah. To this day, I don't mind, because I don't mind. I don't mind a bit of like armpit hair and all that stuff, but I hate hairs on like legs, because to this day, whenever I see a woman with like leg hair, I just think back to that day when I was wanking with my friend, and he's like this pale guy who wasn't very hairy, and he had these like little fine hairs everywhere. So every time I see a woman with hair on their shins, I think back to my mate, and I'm like, ugh, I don't like this.
that is fully you putting your own personal trauma on just the opposite of that. Your trauma your trauma is not women with hairy legs. Your trauma is seeing a woman with hairy legs reminds you of the boy you jacked up with in Greece.
Cyprus.
Sorry, Cyprus. So that makes it any fucking better. Yeah.
Oh God!
See, and that is that. And
I
now
work
I know,
for the NHS.
now I know that's why the face.
Come and
that's-
get your treatment at your local clinic.
Oh no, no! But you know, it takes a human to understand a human, and that's a very
Ah.
human thing that you just shared.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm
no
all
one
for it.
prompted you, but I'm glad you did.
I'm tired of like holding things in. You know, I don't care anymore, man. I'm just trying to be myself.
Fair enough. Well, I'm not going to be dredging up any of my own personal details that deeply.
In time. Look, this is a confession podcast, so you know.
Yeah, true. I confessed last podcast, so
Yeah.
it's only fair you confess to
Oh God,
some
what a-
absolute debauchery. Do you remember his name?
Oh yeah, we're still very good friends. I won't say his name.
You won't say his name?
I won't say his name.
Go on, say his
No,
name.
no.
Tell me after.
I'll tell you after. I'll say his name. He's kind of a popular guy. He's a popular guy. Yeah.
Sounds it.
Anyway, people here want like this is Cypriot dude, so you know.
He won't hear it.
Yeah. He probably won't. I'll tell you later.
Yeah, tell me. I can tell you wanted to tell me then, but you're like, nah, it's bad. And that's what you should do about those videos. Yeah. Like that. You see that little break you had just there when you pause and you're like, I'm not going to do that. You can do that. Even if your pants
Instead
are
of
already
watching Dom Mummy Milk's Cub.
down. Yeah. Like, just don't watch it. There you go. If you're out there and you're heavily addicted to porn, yeah,
I'm not addicted.
Just
I don't
stop.
think I'm addicted to
just
porn.
stop. It's that easy.
I don't watch porn. Like maybe I average like once every 2 months. I might like get really horny and be like, "Fuck, I need to watch something." You know.
Fair. Well, that was an obvious lie. Should we
No,
get
for
into
real,
the confessions?
For real.
Nah,
Confessions. Let me.
you're not convincing me of that, mate,
Okay.
or any of the listeners.
You do you.
All 25.
Hopefully, someone
of
has
one of
sent
them.
something in because your friends are just fucking. All right. Yesterday. No, this one's from this app.
Nope.
From the app. From the app. From the app. Has no one sent anything? Jesus Christ.
Well, we'll do this in the meanwhile.
From the app. Depression is fake.
What? That's going to put you out of the job, mate.
Wait. This one was an actual like message. Depression is fake. That's not a fucking confession, you twit.
You knobhead.
Who sent that? Depression is. Do you think depression is fake?
No. I don't think depression is fake. I think there's biological reasons and social reasons for why
Whoa, I got one.
You got one.
Okay. I've got. So this is a real one.
Okay.
Because, by the way, I'm using this app that helps you get anonymous confessions.
Yeah.
It's called NGL or something. And the app sends you its own, like, fake prompts.
Oh, okay.
So you think you get, but it tells you when it's a genuine one and when it's so I've got a real one. I've got into this really unhealthy habit of doing a really racist Japanese voice when I'm alone in my flat. I'm not Japanese. I love Japanese people and I have no hate in my heart whatsoever, but I can't seem to stop doing it. Please advise. I do that all the time though.
Yeah,
I do
look,
accents at home by myself.
100%.
African accents,
That's the only accent, isn't it? That's the only accent you do at home by yourself.
Chinese accents.
Yeah, look.
I do that on stage sometimes
If
as well.
you're in the comfort of your own home,
I'm
and
telling
there's-
you.
you know, if a tree falls in the woods and there's no one there to hear it, did a tree really fall? You know, and
It
if you
did
say,
fall. It did fall, but it doesn't matter.
yeah, it has no impact, right? Didn't make a sound. Sorry, is fun because if there's no one there to hear it, didn't make a sound. Yes, it still made a sound because it's moving air particles and sound is. Anyways,
Okay.
that's not how sound works. This isn't about sound. This is about you doing Chinese accents in the comfort of your own home. I think, sorry, Japanese. I think you should be able to do it.
I think
Just
it's.
like, if I was a white guy, I'd say the N word if I was listening to music by myself.
Oh, fuck it. Listen, if there's any white guys out there who listen to rap at home
Yeah.
and they don't say the N word, kill yourself. What the fuck?
I wouldn't go that far. I think
Like, if you're that fragile, like, what are you doing, mate?
But the
Come
problem
on.
is, what if you go somewhere and you're drunk and you just fall back into your natural element?
No,
and you say
man.
the N-word
Well, you just learn to live with the consequences. I think there's
of being battered.
there's context, man. If you're in fucking South London, in whatever Croydon, Brixton, or wherever, and you're saying N words left and right and center because you're drunk, then maybe you deserve to get a little bit beaten up. But if you're in Angel or Islington and it's all like yummy mummies around and you rapping and a little N word comes out, who's gonna beat you up?
I think
Fucking Claire from.
I think there's a big
From
difference
fucking-
between like doing like a black accent and saying an actual slur. Like I maybe shouldn't have brought that up as an. I was being hyperbolic, really. I'm glad you just fully agree with it. And I'm like,
I think that doesn't. I
don't
think
think it
that
hurts anyone.
never happens for it to be an issue. I don't think there's a white guy out drunk who says the N word unless they're in some like really remote white place where no one's gonna give a fuck anyway. Like I don't know, think of something in the north. And then, do you know what I mean?
No, I get what you mean. Where I'm like, I don't think just because there's no black people in the room that being racist.
I'm not saying that's okay.
Yeah, I'm saying when
I'm
you're by
saying
yourself.
the example doesn't really happen. I don't think there's a lot of drunk white guys out there rapping, saying the N-word in public for it to be an issue.
Fair. I've had white guys say the N-word to me in passing conversation that I don't
That's
know. And
crazy.
I know it's because they have been overexposed and saying it to themselves at home. And so I get what you mean. There's definitely a lot of discerning people who, in the comfort of your own home, do whatever accent you want. Because when you go outside, you're not going to say it. You're not hurting anyone. You don't hold any of those opinions. If it makes the passage of time that bit easier, fair enough. But if you're someone where you can't be trusted to be sensible in public
Having
situations-
said that,
Yeah.
my dad is exactly that person.
Fair.
He has really bad impulse control, all right? And my dad lives in a bubble because he just lives out
Cyprus.
in Cyprus. It's just us around. He doesn't think about racial, political issues. He's not keyed in. He still lives in the same neighborhood he grew up with. Everyone around him is his relative. And I don't mean that like because it's Cyprus and we're all shagging our cousins. I mean that like literally because where I live, all my cousin lives next door, my aunt lives next, and it's all like one street, it's all the family, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, that's besides the point. My dad, we're walking around London. He was here. They left yesterday, 2 days ago. My parents were over. He has no impulse control. We're walking in London. He's doing accents because me and him do it over the phone. Look, I confess. Me and him, we do it over the phone sometimes, right? And he used to live here and all this stuff.
Yeah.
So, we're walking around London. He's doing Indian accents. I'm like, Dad, what the fuck are you doing? You can't be doing that. Or like he'll say little phrases in accents.
Yeah.
I'm like, come on, man. My dad sometimes he makes me feel so uncomfortable around people because like he doesn't understand. He doesn't understand that in London, you just don't talk to random people. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And my dad will just like, two people will be passing by talking about their life and then my dad will comment. Because this is what we do in Cyprus, right? So they'll just talk about this random problem. And then my dad was like, oh, have you tried doing this? I'm like, no, don't talk to people on the fucking tube, man. Oh, God.
Well, yeah. So I think
Sometimes I'll call him or he'll call me and I'll answer the phone and he'll just, instead of saying hi, he'll just go, what's up, mate? N-word.
there. Okay.
And I'm like, Dad, you can't do that. Sometimes I call you and I'm in public and you're on loudspeaker.
In a strong Cypriot accent.
No, he does it in like an American rap. What's up, man?
Okay. Fair. I don't think that makes it better.
I'm not saying it makes it better. I'm just.
I think it's funny. I don't think any black people are actually truly offended by that. I think
he wouldn't do that in public.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Like, I think everyone in their house with their family says some pretty racist shit.
Oh my! I don't.
Anyway, I've heard
he's not that. He's not racist, my dad, at all.
No, I've heard my dad say some crazy things, but I know he doesn't mean them in his heart of hearts.
Yeah.
Like I remember when I was a kid, my dad told me maybe I shouldn't say this joke. yeah, fuck it, I'm gonna say the joke. He was like, oh, little dad joke. How do you kill 1,000 flies in one slap? Oh, I don't know, Dad. He's like, slap a Somali in the face. And I'm like, okay, that is very racist.
Black
You know,
on black racism.
and I didn't know it was racist. I said that at school, and someone looked at me like, whoa, that is a lot. And I'm like, oh, okay. These are jokes
We
that are
had-
just for home.
Yeah, we
Okay.
had a black joke in Cyprus that you would say when you wanted to prove that you weren't racist. But I don't know if I should say it.
Maybe you shouldn't.
I should. I'll tell you off.
I'm black, so guess what? Ethiopians are black too, so it's more like black and black crime. Whereas
Okay.
for you, you
Yeah.
are most certainly not black. Yeah,
Ambiguous.
Yeah.
Yet.
yeah,
Like
but
that
not
woman.
ambiguously black, like
No, no,
ambiguously
of course.
Mediterranean.
Yes. Okay.
You know?
I'll tell you.
You and
off-
your hairy legs.
of the of the mic. But yeah, do you do accents when you're alone?
When I'm by myself, I've been known to do quite a few accents.
Mm.
Even sometimes when I'm not by myself, if I'm with my closest confidants, I might answer
do
or
a
reply in an
little
accent, just out
Chinese
of
accent.
nowhere. So if I'm in the kitchen and someone's like, "Oh, you're right in there," I might reply just in a different accent, just for fun. And then if I don't hear anything back, I go, "Well, I won't be doing that accent again."
My Indian friend says I do a really good Indian accent, so I won't do it here.
Yeah.
But but she sends she said her mum approves, but it's very stereotypical. Like it sounds like a poo from The Simpsons. But if her mum approves, then fuck yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I know someone who does possibly the best Indian accent I've ever heard from someone who's non-Indian, and I won't out them, but they know who they are, and I promise
It's
you,
like a
it is-
comedian.
No, it's not a comedian.
Okay.
It's a family member.
Okay.
But they do such a good accent. And it's actually shocking. You can close your eyes and you'd be like, oh my God, I feel like I'm in Mumbai. But, it's neither here nor there. Look, if these things bring joy to your life and it makes
Go for
the
it.
ticking of time go that much, like it doesn't make it as, torturous, fair. You're not hurting anyone.
I'm
But I
telling
would
you.
recommend not saying it in
In
passing
public.
conversation or
Yeah.
say it ironically. Because I used to be like, swear down. I used to say it ironically because people used to say it all the time. Then eventually you just start saying it.
Yeah.
So you don't want to accidentally slip up
Yeah.
and just say it. I mean, I had a friend at uni, and I don't know why he used to do this. If he was with someone, he would like code switch, yeah?
Yeah.
So if he was like around loads of black people, like, yeah, I get what you mean, man. Like,
I think a lot of people do that though.
And if he was around like Indian or Asian people, he'd do the accent, and then we'd have to be like, oh fuck, like, what
Dude,
are
what
you
you
doing?
yeah.
What are you doing? And he's like, I knew he didn't do it on purpose.
Yeah.
And you just hear him start and then realize where he is.
Yeah.
So you cannot say it in a passing conversation because you will say it in real life.
I think a lot of people code switch with black people though.
Yeah.
They try and be more
For
swag,
sure. For sure. I mean, I find it funny. I'll code switch with other black people, right? I'll speak a little bit more. Yeah, and I don't notice I'm doing it.
Yeah.
But if I see another person they're Jamaican, I might, my vernacular might change slightly.
Mm-hmm.
But if someone like I can tell someone's code switching with me, I end up going more British. I
Okay. You
I
push
go-
it up
I
even
push
more.
it up. I make them feel as uncomfortable for
Yeah.
doing what they just did as possible, and not because I find it offensive, just because I find it funny.
I unfortunately do a lot. My accent changes depending on who I talk to because my accent just fluctuates because I'm like bilingual, whatever. Flex. But I also do the class thing, which is very annoying. If I'm speaking to like working class people, I'll become a little bit more, cockney and all that.
Yeah.
But if I'm talking to, posher people, I become quite
Yeah.
posh myself.
I'll talk.
It's very annoying. I
Yeah.
think the way I'm talking to you now is probably my baseline, like the way I.
Yeah, this is like my baseline. Well,
And
usually
I
talk.
just want it to be like this every time. The most patronizing thing is when I change it up for immigrants, but I just feel like they won't understand. They just want to. Because even in front of Cypriot people, I become a little bit more Cypriot.
fair.
This is how we sound in Cyprus.
Yeah.
And sometimes I feel like they will not understand me if I talk like a proper Londoner.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying,
No, I
fam?
get you. And then don't worry, you're not.
So I
proper
have
Londoner,
to enunciate and pronounce everything so
you
that
can-
they will understand. I mean, this is
It's a
over.
great accent.
It's
a
over
great accent.
exaggerated.
I can't
but-
do any accents really. I can do an alright Jamaican accent, but I won't be doing that here. You're gonna have to wait for the next episode if you want to hear that.
Yeah.
But that is so not it. But no, like I might throw in an extra rascal or something
Yeah.
if I'm talking to someone from similar place.
I like
or-
when you do all of them together. sometimes
Oh,
when
what?
you're like, Klein, Ross Club,
You pussy bumper rascal. Something like that. But no, I don't really do that because I don't think you need to. Honestly, I think like usually the vernacular is enough to prove you're from where you are.
Okay.
Especially being from Croydon, like
I wonder who this is. Who
You
does
wonder
the
who it is?
Japanese accent?
I know exactly who it is.
I have no idea. All right, let me see if I've got another one. No, this one's not the one. Not the one. One. We only got one. I can't. I have another one from like a third one from the first time that we didn't manage to say, but this one's not that juicy. So at my last job, I stole rolls of toilet paper from the office. I'll go again.
Bilingual, huh?
At
Sounds like you're half lingual.
bilingually stupid. At my last job, I stole rolls of toilet paper from the office weekly for 2 years. They were those big public bathroom type rolls that are usually locked up, but the dispensers were very easy to open. I went in with my backpack every Friday on my way out. Never had to buy toilet paper those 2 years.
I respect it.
Do you?
I do.
It's called thieving, man. What are you talking about?
Well, it's just like they have such a big budget for toilet paper.
Yeah,
No one's
probably.
going to use it. You know, they're going to put in a fresh roll. They got a fresh roll for every Monday, anyways. So
This
obviously
was
wasn't a
the
problem.
king of COVID, probably.
King of COVID.
I didn't have to buy.
Yeah, but you wouldn't be going into work during COVID.
probably. So it was probably pre or after
Yeah.
COVID.
The kings of COVID were people with bidets.
Yes.
We're like,
Or people who saw it coming and invested in Airbnb,
what?
invested in like not Airbnb, sorry, invested in like Zoom and all that shit.
Oh yeah.
Some people, they're fucking, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
I was talking to this girl I went on a couple of days with this girl
Don't believe you.
from Canada, and her parents, like in Canada, owned like pharmacy kind of like Boots
Yeah.
sort of thing. She said we made so much money in COVID because they also supply like hand sanitizers.
Oh fuck me.
She was like, we made dollar. But yeah,
Was that you doing the accent your dad does when he calls you
no,
out?
my dad is even worse.
I wish you had it recorded, just for me.
For my dad,
Yeah,
Jesus Christ.
I'd love to hear that.
One I hope this like
Should we? We can do a confession on here. We can do
becomes
Am I the
bigger.
arsehole?
When this becomes bigger,
How long have
on
we recorded?
I think like an hour and a bit.
Yeah, that's all right. They don't need any more.
Yeah,
They've had enough,
probably.
probably. But yeah, you're not racist for doing an Asian accent in your house. If you're fat and you want to sue someone,
Do it.
Don't do it. You should feel some shame. It's called lift, not forklift. If you're a billionaire, maybe don't throw up, Nazi,
The Nazi
gang
salute.
signs.
Yeah. If you're 17, maybe don't shag people who have Hitler
Yeah. If someone
stickers on their door.
no Hitler stickers on the door, no dream catchers, same level of insanity, like just two different sides of the same coin.
Yeah.
If you're mentally ill, don't go to therapy. Buy Shungite. And yeah, guys, have a beautiful day. It's obviously the start of a new year, start of a new dawn. If you set yourself any New Year's resolutions and you've not done them yet,
Don't worry, we're all gonna die one day.
yeah, we're all gonna die
And
one
it's
day.
not
but you're
gonna count.
You're gonna die much sadder because you're not doing your New Year's resolutions. So
Probably.
make sure you do it. And yeah, have a good one.
Ta-da! How does this stop?
Deletes the whole thing.
Oh no, Mark. Okay.